Good morning, and here is your next oboe video on the half hole and the octave key technique. This is a pretty hard concept to learn, especially with half holing, because it's very specific movement on the oboe, and to be efficient, you have to learn the right way. So first off, let's start off of what exactly is half holing. So on oboe, there are keys like this, and then you have this front key right here that your left hand first finger typically goes on, and you have this hole on the top of it, but then you also have this like little metal piece sort of hanging down, like a tail at the end. And this is demonstrating what it's like to actually press down in the tone hole and close that vent, but not actually cover the tone hole on the top and just use the pad. So that's called half holing technique. That's called half holing. The proper technique you're going to use is actually putting if you were to split your finger like right down the middle, like for me that's like about right here where my nail is, if you can see that, and you were to put that little crease right in the middle of those that key, so it's like you're not quite covering that, just like down, just when you put your finger down, and you put it right in the middle, then the front half of your finger, when it's covering that tone hole, it's going to be very much the side of your pad, the finger pad. So if I were to indent hard enough, you can see that the indent in my finger is off to the side, not in the middle. That's where you want the indent, because when you half hole, all you want to do is pivot. So you're just essentially moving your finger this way and then coming off the tone hole and then coming back, then coming off. You don't want to slide. That's very inefficient, especially when you're working with fast passages. And you definitely don't want to pick up and put down, because A, it's very, very hard to spot on such a small key, and B, it will completely ruin your tone production, especially if you're trying to jump octaves or anything. So really the best way to go about half holing, especially when you are interacting with this key before, is to just simply pivot so you don't do excessive motion and you stay efficient. So that's the half holing technique. Now you're probably wondering, what notes do you actually half hole for? So you're gonna half hole for the 3 Ds above let's see, that's C5, so D5, D sharp 5, and D flat 5. Those are the 3 Ds. So D5 would just be D, but you're going to half hole it. So see, all my D's are down, and then you're just going to half hole it. And then D flat would be this key right here. Or D flat would be, sorry, the bubble key right here. For a moment I thought I was saying E flat. So the D flat would be this bubble key in the middle. D flat is equivalent to C sharp. And then D sharp or E flat would be this bottom key right here. So that is your 3 couple of D fingerings that we would half hole for. And then next is your octave key situation. So on a student oboe, you're likely going to have 2 different octave mechanisms. You're going to have this one back here, and you're going to have this one over here on the side. So on a more savvy oboe or professional oboe, you might also have a 3rd octave key that is layered here. And that is, like I said, very much on professional oboes, and student oboes don't typically have that key. So for the 1st octave key, you will be using that for E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp or A flat. Those are the keys you will be learning using that 1st octave key for. So going from all the way to E to all the way to A sharp, or A flat. So, and then once you hit A, you're going to engage your 2nd octave key. So you're just simply getting your wrist a little bit closer. Your wrist should be pretty flat. You don't want your wrist to be super stiff, so you're just making sure your wrist is able to hit that other octave key. And then that's how you're going to play A. B flat, B, and C. So, there you go. And when you play that second octave key, you want to make sure you're also engaging this back one too, especially because you don't necessarily want to move on and off of it, and it doesn't really make too big of a difference either way when you engage that second octave key. In sound production, it won't hurt your sound in any way. So I'm going to demonstrate this by walking up and then coming back down the B flat major scale. So here we go.